Good morning, I'm Rob Springall, I'm the Chair of CASSE, and it's a great pleasure to welcome you all here to our CASSE conference, the day after tomorrow on breakthrough recognition. We are aware that the symposium today clashes with a lot of things, other things going on in Melbourne. We've got the Grand Prix this weekend, we've also got the footy started on Thursday night, and my team played last night. There's other games today, so we're especially grateful to all of you for wanting to share your Saturdays with us, notwithstanding all this other competition. I have no doubt that you'll find the day stimulating and rewarding, and I hope you enjoy the day. Now, on behalf of CASSE, I respectfully acknowledge the traditional owners and custodians of the land on which we meet today, the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation. We pay our respects to their people, both past, present and future. In addition, as suggested by Kenny Leckleitner, who you'll hear from later in the day, having regard to the theme of breakthrough recognition, we also recognise the positive aspects of the role played by the whitefella mob in settling our great country. CASSE, which means creating a safe, supportive environment, is a not-for-profit charity which began in Melbourne in 2009. I'm proud of the work that CASSE is involved with and helps to make possible by creating spaces where new ideas can be explored and new ways forward can be found, can be discovered. Through our work with Aboriginal people and communities, we have learnt that a sense of pride, purpose and value is the basis which we all grow and contribute positively to the world. Further information about the work of CASSE can be obtained from the booklets and brochures available in the foyer. I would like to acknowledge CASSE's generous supporters, in particular the Flooring Institute for waiving the room hire fee for today's symposium, and Sutton Tools for their generous contribution of tools for the men's Chilira movement. Those tools make these Chilira, or traditional tools, which are on the front table here, so please if you get a chance, come and have a look at those. They're beautiful work. I also want to thank the partners and organisations with whom it has been a privilege to work, including the Central Australia Aboriginal Congress, and Peter, I think, is from at the back here from Central Australia Aboriginal Congress in Alice Springs, the Royal Flying Doctor Service, Macdonald Shire Council, the Department of Corrections, Blokes on Track and Community Development Program. I thank also those of you who generously included a donation when purchasing a ticket for this event, including those who made a donation but weren't able to come to the event. Finally, before we get underway, a few housekeeping items. In the unlikely event of an emergency, the exits are clearly marked. There's one here and there's one at the back. The bathrooms can be accessed through the rear exit and through the side exit up the stairs. And as a courtesy to our speakers and to each other, please ensure that your mobile phones are switched off or placed on silence. So without any further ado, I now invite Pamela, who is the Director of CASSE's Aboriginal Australian Relations Program, to outline the day's proceedings and to introduce the theme of the day.
Anne and I would like to welcome you all here today to talk about recognition. So what does a nation that sees, hears and knows, that recognises all of its peoples look like? Taking the day after tomorrow as a starting or end point, this symposium will journey through the unrecognised trails of trauma and may shine a light on dreaming breakthroughs to achieve recognition, change minds and save lives. We have a great lineup of speakers. We will hear from all the speakers, then have a panel at the end of the day, which will be open to all of you to talk and dialogue with those on the panel. The issue of recognition is a long-standing one. In 1835, Governor Burke issued the proclamation upon which British settlement was based, reinforcing the notion that the land of Australia belonged to no one. Its publication in the colony meant that from then all people found occupying land without authority of the government would be considered illegal trespassers. This would not change until the Australian High Court's decision in the Eddie Mabo case in 1992, which inserted the legal doctrine of native title in law. Currently, the First Nation are seeking constitutional change. Constitutional change is not an abstract concept or a mere intellectual exercise. Constitutional change is about the real lives, the real life and death struggles of Aboriginal people today. The past has a living presence. Constitutional change is about psychological recognition and about Aboriginal and non-Aboriginal relations. Alexis Wright, in her Dirt Song, writes about the crying shame to see a country like this, and tells us how to bring the country back. Listen for the heartbeat now with the pulse of the land, the bird, the tree, the grass and the wind, bringing it up. Dry country some places now, too much. I don't know if we will get rain soon. Who will make it rain? Some of them old people passed away now. You know the rainmakers. They been make it rain. Make it rain and the country come back. You got to look after the rainmakers. People need to listen carefully. The wind blows strong through the trees it blows. Come visiting you, spirit talking to you. It comes in dreams, you can hear it too. We are made the same, you and I, hot wind bringing the goose, bringing fish, rainstorm. We will hear from speakers in Central Australia today who will give voice to the realities of non-recognition and recognition. We also, the Elder Pintabee men, have supported this conference, and we have their voices here today, and they've supported it wholeheartedly and given permission for their songs to be released, their Tengari. Of course, they are not to be recorded, and we'll be deleting them from proceedings at the end of the day. So let us listen carefully and let us listen to the heartbeat. Today, maybe contributions towards changing minds and saving lives on the journey of recognition can be made, renewing hope and dreamings, and give tomorrows to the First Nation and indeed the nation of Australia. So let us look after the rainmakers. Let us grow up country, whole country, look after country, know that's his story, make the country come back and settle down country. Let us hold in mind the heart of Australia, the ancestral lands of songlines and dreamtime. So let us now begin. So it gives me great pleasure to introduce Lord John Alderdice, who can't be here today, who by profession is a psychoanalytic psychiatrist and for 11 years was leader of the Cross Community Alliance Party and one of the negotiators of the 1998 Good Friday Agreement. He was the first Speaker of the new Northern Ireland Assembly from 1998 to 2004, and then for 7 years, one of the independent monitoring commissioners appointed by the British and Irish governments to oversee security normalisation in Ireland. In 1996, appointed one of the youngest ever life peers in the House of Lords. He's a recipient of many honorary degrees and awards for his work on conflict resolution in various parts of the world, and is currently Director of the Centre for the Resolution of Intractable Conflict, based at the University of Oxford, and Chairman of the Centre for Democracy and Peace Building in Belfast. John has been a great ambassador for CASSE, and CASSE took our work to London in February 2016, and we gave co-presentations with John in the House of Lords and Harris Manchester House, Oxford University. I also want to say that he was caught up in the recent events in Britain, and was in 5-hour lockdown and has had a pretty tough week. So we'll now hear from John.
Do you want me to speak? No.
Okay.
I just wanted to welcome. So also wanted to welcome everyone here today. It's fantastic to see so many people here. I think it's absolutely terrific. But I'm particularly pleased to see friends and colleagues from it's actually Pamela and my own professional association, the Victorian Association of Psychoanalytic Psychotherapists, and it's great to see so many of you come today. In fact, it's just great to see so many people here, and I think it's time we go on with the speeches.
Now I just call up the Day After Tomorrow team who are coming forward.
Hello, young fella. Where are you from? What language do you speak? What do you do for a living? How do you think we could probably live together in regards to going into the future?